I think DTF is such a large part of the t-shirt industry in general. That was kind of the bread and butter to start with. We've just lowered the bar to the complex design for you to get in and feel comfortable. I think it's a great tool to implement into workflow. So yeah, that's kind of the play with Popup with Kittl.
In LA, where the dreams get printed, fills the wizard with the DTF we're minted. Switched up the game from screen, we ain't standing. Transfer superstars with the fabric we imprinted. Transfer superstars,
What's up, guys? Phil here with Transfer Superstars. I am here interviewing Drew from Kittl. He's done a bunch of podcasts on Kittl with Coffees and Kittl. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Drew?
Sure. Yep. Like you said, Drew from the Kittl YouTube channel, mainly where we are teaching and educating users on how to use Kittl. And not only that, we are providing a lot of graphic design tutorials, experience on how to achieve that different style you might need, or that niche, or just general graphic design principles. And we're doing that within Kittl, giving creators the ability to make their designs faster, more efficient, and really lowering the bar of entry, not the bar of excellence, lowering the bar of entry to those complex designs. And so that's what we're doing with Kittl.
Thank you for that, Drew. We're going to go ahead and start off with our podcast. We deal with a lot of, again, print shops and people that are starting their own brands. So we get a chance to see what's hot and also what people are doing. But at the same time, we also run a brand ourselves. So we've been doing this printing for over a decade now. So
yeah. So your clientele are not like designers uploading designs to you to then send to them, or it's just print shops, or how does that work?
They are. So
okay.
The designers themselves. So we'll have somebody that will create a brand from scratch. They'll get a sample DTF sheet done. They'll do a quick photo shoot, get some pre-sales, and then take on a big order and send us that order as well. That's like one of the customers that we get. We have print shops that are doing screen printing just like us, but then they have customers that are trying to get smaller size orders, and they used to not be able to fulfill them, but now with us being able to fulfill and send even Ubers to pick up their orders, they're sending them more frequently. Instead of turning those orders down, they're sending them to us. So
Gotcha.
Helping with a majority of a lot of screen print shops actually that order from us. You have people that are again starting their own brand, people that are doing unique products, because we don't just do DTF, but we also do UV stickers. So we have people that are buying them for like skateboards, even up to like construction. They're doing them for their signs, and all that good stuff. Is just, we're trying to capture the printing business, not only for hard goods, but for, t-shirts and stuff like that, the whole range.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's kind of like Supercolor, I guess. But more localized, or more local.
Yeah, more local, more specialized in certain things. And we try to do a lot of tutorials. We'll teach people how to apply them to unique products, unique placements. We've done it on pop-up canopies, QR codes on those desks where people would pop-up shops and stuff like that, where they would have their payment code there. So yeah, we just try to find anything unique that's possible to DTF on. That's what we'll do. I know that there's a huge market out there where there's a lot of people that don't know this technology yet. So it's just, we're trying to make it as easy as possible for somebody to use.
That sounds awesome. I love that. I'll have to check it out and order something. Do the video. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know. We can definitely help out, get that done.
Can you tell us about the Kittl with Coffee?
Yeah, how long have you been doing that? And tell us a little bit about that.
So Coffee with Kittl is our podcast on YouTube and currently on Spotify. And so that's where we ask some of our amazing collaborators to come on and just talk through their experience. We'll have entrepreneurs, business owners, even people that they would never call themselves designers by any means, but they're either in the design world through print on demand, or through setting up a shop, or owning an e-commerce shop, and somehow kind of found their way to Kittl, or they know people that use Kittl and they kind of suggest them to us as a good person to come on and talk through. So some people, I'll have on the show, they don't use Kittl. They just they want to educate, and I want to give them the platform to educate our users on how to grow a business, or how to streamline their workflow in whatever they're doing, whether or not they're going to start a Shopify, whether or not they're going to start a print on demand, whether or not they're starting a streetwear brand, whether they're going to source materials themselves, or they're going to get it from overseas or wherever. So that's kind of the trajectory with Coffee with Kittl. Is we have Etsy sellers that are 6 figures, upwards of $1 million, that will come on and give mad knowledge on how they grew their Etsy shops. We'll have people like John and Rich on to talk about more of the apparel, streetwear, whether or not it's doing it yourself or print on demand or some sort of mixture of both. But then we'll also have people on like Ryan Hogue that are just phenomenal entrepreneurs that give knowledge on tips on efficiency, effectiveness, time management. So yeah, that's kind of the play with Coffee with Kittl, is trying to educate our users to go farther with the knowledge that all of these masters have accumulated from trying and failing for years and years.
Besides John and Rich, do you know any other folks that are using Kittl for a DTF?
For DTF, I mean, I know we have a lot of Kittl users that are using it. I'm not sure if I've had any other particular guest on that's been using it primarily for DTF. I wouldn't say that they're not. I'm just not sure if that was the focus of the conversation. I mean, I've had people who are using Kittl for CNC and laser engraving, like all kinds of stuff. Glass gilding, just wackadoodle stuff that I mean, they're much smarter than me, and they know how to convert the files to what they need to do. But yeah, I mean, I think DTF is such a large part of the t-shirt industry in general, or the apparel industry in general, that I would be remiss to think that people aren't using Kittl to create gang sheets, or, I mean, we do it all the time.
I know that for us, DTF has opened the door because of being able to do smaller runs, sample runs, and things like that. And I think a lot of times that's one of the hurdles that people have. And then the second is probably designing. They don't have a Affinity, they don't have Adobe, they're not familiar with it. So using platforms like Kittl definitely allows them to easily design and use one of their pre-made templates. Is pretty easy and useful.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was kind of the bread and butter to start with Kittl, is, like you said, being able to use or start a premium template that was created by, a world-class professional in the industry for you to start with, right? And make it your own. But not just that. Like with the template specifically, you can really learn how it's orchestrated. Like you can type in 90s bootleg t-shirt, and all the bootleg t-shirts are coming, and you can see how they're orchestrated with the layers, and then you can say, okay, I can see there's this component of lightning that's similar between all of them. Great, let me AI generate some lightning, or let me find a lightning element in the library and then put my text and a picture of my cat or my friend or a car or whatever. And so they're really useful for educating yourself if you're trying to get into design. But that would be kind of more on the basic / beginner area of people trying to enter into something like t-shirt design. But then we have our advanced features like our vectorizer, background remover, the AI, the advanced AI, things like that. Yeah, that can really help scale your skills faster. It's basically about the bar of entry. Like Affinity and Illustrator are fantastic programs that I don't believe will go away. But that's for a specific caliber of designer and audience that has the energy and time to expend in learning it. Whereas something like Kittl, we've just lowered the bar to the complex design for you to get in and feel comfortable and easily make something a lot faster, a lot more time efficient, and ideate a lot faster than you would have to figure out how to learn in these other platforms. So at the end of the day, it's all about what you're doing. Like we have our good friend Juna from Detour Shirts that it uses a variety of programs that he'll use Kittl maybe to start, maybe he'll use Kittl to finish, but somewhere in there he's going to use Affinity, He might use Leonardo. He might draw some in Procreate, bring it into Kittl, vectorize it. So I think it's a great tool to implement into workflow, depending on where you want to start and finish your design.
Yeah, I saw that episode as well. He was talking about bringing things in and out and not sure. I mean, you can technically do it all in one spot, but there is a lot of benefits of using different tools to do different things to get that end product. But again, the AI tool is great. The background removal tool is great. It's also easier to keep everything on one platform as well. So yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah. I mean, that's the dream is having everything in one place, right? And I think what I try to explain to people, even if they're at the more professional level using something like an Affinity or an Illustrator, is okay, well, now you still have all these other subscriptions for elements, for fonts, for whatever. And it's like, I do believe that Kittl can really be a solution to not have to have so many subscriptions to so many things. Like, we have mockups, we have an endless library of elements, we have premium fonts that are exclusive to us that you can utilize and put effects on and still export SVGs and vector files. And images, and then, like you said, the AI generator. And it does help having something all in one place for the startup person that's going to start a streetwear or a merch or apparel brand. And they are going to look across all these subscriptions they have to have on top of sourcing material and printing and going to dropping stuff off at the printer and paying for that. And then, all the transfers and stuff like that. And so that's all going to rack up really, really fast. And so I think Kittl being able to be the one place that's going to at least take care of 7 or 8 of those subscriptions is a powerful thing.
Yeah. I mean, those subscriptions can really add on. You just keep trying different things, even though they're sometimes free. Once they start rolling in, you'll have like you said, 7, 8 different subscriptions that will add up over time, and it just gets out of hand, before you already have so much stuff to worry about. So that's one less thing to have to deal with.
Exactly. I'm curious to know where your passion for the DTF came from. Like, why was that something that you wanted to, I mean, maybe you fell in love with it, I have no idea, but why is that something that you wanted to passionately pursue as a solution to teach people and to set up like a DTF kind of a shop, basically?
Yeah, I mean, great question. I've been doing t-shirt printing for over 10 years. We start off as screen printers. We're in California. So space is expensive, and we were doing print on demand, but with screen printing. So we were having upwards of about 3,000 screens. So if you can imagine how much space.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was a lot of space that we're using. So when DTG came onto scene, we knew that we were able to not only do product testing, but if we're able to do smaller one-offs and just do it with a DTG printer, it would save us not only space, but being able to test new product, test new designs, and not commit a screen. And every color that you're adding on is another additional screen.
That's right.
It started getting crazy. So we're like, okay, let's invest in a DTG machine, smaller footprint, handling those one-offs. We jumped into that pretty early on, but we didn't love it. The quality wasn't consistent. You had shirts that had heavier pre-treatment. Even though we had all the nice equipment, the Pro Elite and all that stuff.
Wow.
It just wasn't a consistent product from beginning to end. And by the time if we had a problem with the print, we would see it on the shirt already. So it's already committed on the shirt. So overall, we just didn't love that process. And then we got out of DTG, and then I think months later, DTF came onto scene. People were doing a bunch of converted printers, and we decided to give it a shot. It was a huge headache dealing with converted printers. But I did love the idea of, being able to do these full color runs. And then eventually we tested it. We tested some commercial machines, and we started falling in love with it ourselves with our own brand. We were running multiple brands at that point. We constantly printed it for ourselves, and then some of our customers that normally would request screen printing wanted to try our DTF. So we started offering DTF to them, and sooner or later, majority of the business that were screen printing started to become DTF. We really loved it because, being a screen printer, we're really limited with what you can screen print. You would have to add special patents to get certain area locations done, and being able to print transfers, you're able to do literally the whole shirt.
Yeah, you can put it anywhere you want, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Top of a hoodie. We would get random requests from a neighbor that's doing like a pop-up canopy for their kids' soccer team. And we're like, hey, let's try it. And then it worked great. So we've done that, done skateboards, done, shoes
Wow.
like Converses.
Yeah.
We've done that. We even seen like high quality brands like Denim Tears. Their outfit is done with DTF transfers. So
okay.
yeah, it really opens the door for a lot of designers and a lot of people to be able to apply to literally anything that you have an idea. You just kind of create it, send it, and get it done.
Yeah, and are you fulfilling mostly just the DTF side of things, or is someone sending it to you? Because you said like, I want this at the top of the hoodie. Like, are you a full service? You provide the garment as well, or are they going to send it and you're going to ship the DTF to them to then deal with?
So technically we are full service, but it really depends on the quantities. We try to stay away from anything that's too small because it takes a lot of bandwidth and labor is expensive to do. So we do have a couple high-end clienteles or wholesalers that we deal with on a daily basis that we will do these projects with. But if somebody wants to get something done, we will listen and see if there's something that we can incorporate ourselves into to make it worthwhile. At the end of the day, it has to make it worthwhile for them and for us. But we do have the expertise to be able to do that, even customized hats and all that stuff. We do work with some big manufacturers on that as well.
Gotcha. And when someone is gonna basically order, let's say the transfers, the sheets or the gang sheets, what's kind of your preferred method for telling them how to adhere? Like maybe if they don't have really fancy equipment, like a big heat press, maybe they have the money to start with the transfers and the garments, but maybe they don't have the money to buy a $1,500 shirt press. So are you providing how they can get it done? Like maybe people are using a Cricut or something else?
So we do have videos that we've done in the past using a Cricut and even trying it on with the iron. So we actually demonstrated and show somebody. Our transfers are easy to apply. Even an iron will apply it. But as far as longevity, we definitely recommend using a heat press. That's where you can get the most pressure, and
right.
It's important to get that embedded into the shirt. But on that topic of affordability, we understand that not everybody will have that $1,000 to purchase a high-end heat press. So we've actually gone out and purchased, I don't know, maybe like 20 heat presses from Amazon right now that are sub 300, and we've tested all of them, and we've given our unbiased opinion on them to see which one works best. Because you can get a heat press from Amazon for $200 to $300 that it's pretty good, and if it doesn't work out for you, your idea sucks, you can always resell it on OfferUp or anything and get a good 50%, 80% of it back. So really, the cost of entry is not that much. But I do have some customers that need a shirt done real quick for either a birthday or an event, and they can get it done with an iron. I've seen it before. I just don't promote it because I wouldn't want to sell a shirt like that myself because of the pullback and the pre-wrinkles and stuff like that. But it will work. It's so easy these days.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's super neat.
And so I mean the beauty of DTF again is like you could also do, besides t-shirts, like hats, where back then people were you can only embroider on them, you can put patches on them, but now you can actually put small lettering details on your hats. We can even capture the neck tags. Everyone's used to plain mono-colored neck tags, but you're actually able to put full color on a neck tag. I think that
Right.
a premium value to it where somebody's not used to seeing that. And we've actually done some shirts right off of Kittl.
Oh, really?
Yeah, these shirts behind us were actually part of a tutorial that's going to get released.
Oh, nice.
Where we grabbed one of their templates and we just edited some words. We used the same design and deleted some stuff and used the same thing for the neck tag.
Yeah.
Turned out really good. And we actually even ended up using it for like the sleeve hit.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, yeah.
So like it's pretty versatile in what you're able to do with DTF, and we like it. So, love it actually.
What would you say is like the most common issue, not with DTF, but like when people that you either see people in your community or asking, maybe they're your clients or whatever, like where do you see the most issue in? Is it like people not knowing how to design, or is it people just not knowing color, or like what would you say is the biggest kind of issue?
Three things actually, and those three things are well, it starts with design. I would say that's a huge one. That's usually somebody's hardest barrier to entry. So personally for me, I don't come from a designing background. I'm in sales and things like that. So designing is huge for a lot of people to get into. So that's really a hard one. Not everybody has the tools. Not everybody has a nice computer to run Adobe with. So, with, again, going back to Kittl, it's nice because it's online. You can share your files with anybody to use. So designing is huge. That's one of the biggest ones. Just like us, we get a lot of customers that are coming from vinyl. So they're used to using Cricut. They're used to using the Cricut platform. And they try to jump into DTF. They're trying to create it off of Kittl, the Cricut platform, and then send us the files, and it looks bad. But at that point, I would ask if they have any design tools that they're used to using. I would make a suggestion, probably trying to, if it's a simple design, I would say, hey, try to recreate that in Kittl. And a lot of times I would see them doing it and sending us the new file, and it looks good,
Yeah.
from using Cricut. And they're actually even blown away because of all the extra features that Cricut doesn't have. And now you're able to see it on that platform. So, design is one big one. Second is going back to like heat pressing. A lot of times DTF gets a bad rap because of the way that it goes onto a shirt. If it doesn't have enough pressure, it's not going to last. If doing it properly, it's not going to sit on the shirt properly. It's going to shrink in the wash. It's going to feel like plastic, and that's what they don't like. There's also not properly doing the artwork. So there's ways to do black knockouts and halftones to make the design feel much better onto a shirt, and they can't even tell at times where it was done with DTF. It really comes down to artwork and preparation. And I think the third one I want to say is color. Yeah, color is a big one that people have. A lot of people are designing in RGB, or they're designing on their phones. A lot of people don't understand that everything needs to be color calibrated. Even them designing on their phone at night in bed with their screen really, really low,
Right.
It can be very muted.
Yeah.
Versus us, when we have our computers and everything all bright, it's going to look a little bit different. That's why for us, like we've taken the time and we've created color matching chart that somebody can actually order from us. It's a physical chart where they'll be able to choose the colors that they want. As long as they set the right profiles in an Adobe platform, then it will come out the same way. So we've worked with big companies before where color is really important. So that's something that we had to dial down.
Yeah, that's a good point about the Cricut having an issue. I mean, I'll even be trying to do something in Cricut, and doesn't matter where I made it, whether or not I did it in Adobe, Affinity, Kittl, wherever. And when I upload it, Cricut just doesn't have the capability to understand what a compound path is. And so it just creates random lines and breakpoints. And at that point, my advice to people is just to upload a PNG. I don't think you're gonna get it like with the Cricut as accurate as a full-on service provider like an X tool or like you guys, like a screen shop that can actually say, this is the file type we need. We have the tools that can find the compound pass and things like that. I mean, Cricut is so cool for so many things. I mean, I have one, I do stuff in it. I really love doing my simple designs on tote bags. I think it's great for that because you can do a one color of a nice illustration or type, and I can just heat press it with my little heat press that doesn't take much weight, really.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to do, we've tried to do, in fact, in the video that I was mentioning that I did with John's gang sheet and hoodie, we actually, let me grab it for you. We actually messed up trying to do it with a Cricut, and you can even see, if I can get it, probably, I'm not sure if it's going to pick up or not, but there's like leftover little pieces.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
We tried to do it with the Cricut, and there's a scene in the video of me literally standing on the heat press because this garment is so thick. Like I think this is 8 or 9 ounces.
Okay.
And so we had to go use our friend's actual heat press.
Yeah.
And what I had to do was take acetone to this whole design, because this was actually sitting right here.
Okay.
This was sitting right here. So it's all faded, which is not going to pick it up. But I had to take acetone all over it. And it just, for a major design like this, I'm not sure I can suggest Cricut's heat press. It's just, you can't get the force that it needs. Even though it can get as hot as I needed it, I was standing on it, and I took it off, peeled it away, and the whole thing just came right off. And I was like, oh, I've just ruined this transfer.
Yeah. I mean, I just had a customer today that was funny because she called me and said she orders for me frequently, and she said 2 of her transfers messed up. You guys order shirts and stuff like that for it. And the first thing I asked her was, what kind of heat press are you using? She said she's using a Cricut. I'm like, that's the problem right there. It's the Cricut. It just doesn't have enough pressure. I told her to try it, and even if she wanted to bring it to me and test it out, I can guarantee you that it's going to come out as soon as I press it. She's like, I'm not going to drive an hour to do that for you to prove a point. But anyways, long story short, once we hung up, she tried it and she called me back and apologized and said it was exactly that. The heat press worked and everything came out flawless. So again, yes, definitely need a good pressure for DTF. It's not like you can't get it done, but if you're dealing with fine lettering and things like that, or a thick 9-ounce sweater like what you're using, you definitely want to have at least a decent equipment to do that, because that's expensive hoodie right there.
Oh yeah, this was expensive. I mean, John was gracious enough to send these to us for our video, but the it's just such a different. I mean, I don't know if you know the science behind it. I don't, but like the Cricut is really great for those vinyl applications. I mean, they've nailed it because Cricut sells their own vinyl sheets and rolls, and I even have a video on the Kittl channel showing you exactly how I made a t-shirt design in Kittl. I cut it with the Cricut and I adhered it with the heat press, and it looks great because the vinyl will immediately start sticking when that heat touches it, and then you take it off, let it cool, and it comes right off. And the vinyl is like so much flatter. I don't think it's not paint, and so it's like a different kind of adhering method but you would think that it's going to work the same. Like you put the DTF on there and you're like, great, let me get my Cricut, set it to 320 or 315 or whatever, and I'm going to hold it there. It's just the amount of, I guess, centrifugal force or whatever you call it needed to press that garment down is just it's not adhering the way that I guess vinyl would.
Yeah. Have you designed anything off of Cricut and threw it in Kittl?
Designed it in Cricut and then put it in Kittl? No, I don't think I would ever go that direction. I think I would only ever design in Kittl and then put it in the Cricut program to cut, or do a sticker. I mean, we have lots of people that are doing the print then cut, right? Because they're just printing their design on an inkjet, or a laser jet, and then the the Cricut is cutting out the sticker, right? And so in that regard, there's no loss in quality there because it's just an image. I don't even think you need an SVG for a sticker size. You just make your sticker in Kittl and then put it all in Cricut, do the print, then cut file, and then it cuts your stickers for you. But yeah, I've never done anything from Cricut into Kittl. I'm assuming it would probably explode. Probably not. Depends on what it is.
I was just wondering, like, somebody's like really used to using Kittl to design with, and then maybe they want to take the leap to grab that original design in Kittl, maybe even run the vectorizer tool on there to see and add on to it. I don't know. Just
yeah, you're saying if they started something in Cricut, you mean, in Cricut? Okay. Yeah, I haven't done invested tutorials in starting in something like Cricut. I mean, I'm sure that there are users that have the subscription in Cricut where I think they have access to more illustrations and maybe features and stuff like that. But my best advice for that, if I was going to do it, is I would probably export everything as one layer, one thing, and I would import it individually into Kittl just so that I can have things manipulated. And I would do the same thing if I was going to go from Cricut to Illustrator. I would still export my thing as kind of a bunch of pieces, and then I would import it, and then I can continue to play. Because, yeah, I mean, Cricut's not going to have as advanced features as something like an Illustrator or an Affinity, or maybe even a vectorizer tool like Kittl has.
Yeah, I'm personally not too familiar with the Kittl platform, but I never really got into vinyl myself. So that's why I'm just curious, because we do get a lot of people transitioning from vinyl definitely over to transfers, and they don't have to weed and all that stuff. They're just
yeah, that is a massive pain. Weeding is awful. It takes forever, and for what reward? I mean, it depends. Like when I'm making stuff to sell, I'm just trying to make sure that I have the least amount to weed, basically. Illustrations that don't have tons of etching in them, because I have to sit there with the tweezers and like get every single little piece out, or it's not going to look good.
You're mentioning sales. Do you still sell anything now, or what is your background in the t-shirt game?
Yeah, I mean, I sell a variety of things just in my kind of personal side stuff. Like I go to pop-up markets, which are really fun because I have a lot of handcrafted stuff. I'm an illustrator, a letterer, so I'll illustrate on wood coasters, or I'll letter on journals and stuff like that. And like I mentioned, I'll use my Cricut to make tote bags. So I'll draw something and then I'll vectorize it in Kittl, and then I'll ship it over to Cricut. I'll have it cut out that design, and then I can adhere it to the bag, the tote bag. Some of it's like pop culture stuff, some of it's like anime stuff, because a lot of people are into that. I'm into that as well. So I'll do a coaster set of Cowboy Bebop or something, and then I'll take my illustrations and I'll cut them out for a tote bag. T-shirts, they're a little bit more difficult to do with Cricut because you can't do multiple colors. You can, but you got to be really careful. Or you have to use like a vinyl that has already multicolor in it. So sometimes I will grab some t-shirts and I'll do like little chest, just a side design of something. But in my experience doing pop-ups, people are much more prone to go for the tote bag, because you have to have sizes in every size. And I do have some t-shirts, but everyone always says, do you have this in a small or an XL? And I'm always like, no, because I only got one, and so it was already sold. So t-shirt wise, I would probably go the more like bulk order route, or I would do something like print on demand. Like I do have print on demand integrated with like my own personal shops and things. So if somebody wants something, I can direct them to my website and say, oh, you can grab whatever size you want here,
Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought about pressing on demand right on the spot?
But like right there at the pop-up, that would be sick. If I had a heat press, that would be awesome.
That's what
I
see. I've seen some of that around here.
Really?
Yeah. Because there's a lot of heat presses that are sub 1,000 watts, and you can definitely plug it in and press it. So like you said, if you were stuck with just one size shirt, if you had a few sizes and a bunch of transfers laid out, you can press on demand when somebody wants that size. Plus, when I seen somebody do that, it actually attracts a huge crowd because they're watching you do it, and they're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess that would also give them the flexibility to say, I want it on the front or I want it on the back. That's a cool idea. Yeah, I mean, we are experimenting with that. My brother and I have started a little, a kind of a studio, if you will, and we are borrowing a friend's heat press and doing some DTF right now. And of course, like we did that video with John's stuff, but yeah, I think eventually we'll make that investment. We have a hat press right now, but yeah, we'll probably save up and hit one of the nicer heat presses where you can just one that rolls out. I think would be the best, right, for just flexibility and not burning the heck out of yourself. Because I've burnt my hand, my brother's burnt his hand, our friend burns himself all the time. Because if you don't have that roller that comes out, the slide, you have to like be really careful in getting that shirt exactly where you need it.
Yeah, definitely the slide helps.
Yeah, I'm sure you have a variety of ones you tested out. Like you said, for that video, you tested out a bunch of Amazon ones, but I know Rich has a video, like I think testing 5 or 6 from different price points from like 500 plus ones that'll do it itself. You just put the t-shirt there and it does it automatically.
Yeah.
Like those are crazy.
Yeah, the air pneumatic with the automatic press, and you can dial it down with the PSI. That's how you do it on the commercial scale. So we use those type of equipments as well. It really depends on, but again, we have also done it on a good entry level product like a Beaver hat press. We've done good amount of hats. Either some stuff that we use from Kittl, or we got one of their templates. We just changed it out. We did it on a Beaver hat press.
Nice.
It's real simple these days and inexpensive to get into it.
True. That's definitely true. It used to be very, very difficult to do anything, right? You'd have to go through the providers, basically.
Well, so what is your background besides, having your own brand? Like, how did you get into this?
Yeah, I mean, my background was UX and UI design, so more web design, a lot of layout, some light, maybe not light, but more, when I say app, I guess app would be like, it's still kind of in browser. It wouldn't be like, we weren't making apps that you would download on your phone, but basically portals, that kind of like the interface that someone would use through different websites and providers, commerce shops, things like that. So that's a lot of what I was doing before getting more into just the graphic design area. And so in 2020, when everybody was kind of stuck inside, I actually made my own YouTube channel, my smaller YouTube channel, and started just sharing drawing tutorials, what I was learning, books that I was reading on design, lettering. I was learning a lot of lettering. I was taking courses on more graphic design, more in depth than just what I was learning in web design, because there is a component of graphic design in web design, but you're always in the confines of a rectangle always, so it kind of makes it easier. And so I shouldn't say easier, it's just different. It's a different type of designing. And so when I was doing that, that's kind of where Kittl found my smaller channel, which was awesome. And I started doing a couple videos a month, just kind of freelance. And then from there, yeah, we just decided like, let's go all in on this. YouTube's great. We need to educate our users, not only on how to design, but how to use our tool to design easier and faster and quicker. And so I didn't go to design school or anything like that. I'm an English major. And it was actually from the English going into a lot of writing, a lot of SEO, a lot of copywriting, landing page copy. From there, just translating it into me saying, can I try designing this page? Can I try this newsletter layout. Can I try build this email campaign? And that came from, can you put me on this team to work on this landing page for this website, which turned into, can I make this website? And then from there, just kind of increased my design knowledge on my own. There's so many resources from YouTube to paid courses, Domestika, there's Skillshare. I mean, I had them all at one point. I mean, I had so many things going on subscription wise to just learn as much as possible, which is another great thing. I mean, on top of YouTube, like what you guys are doing with your channel, between all of the resources, you can learn what you want to learn with way less than going to university for merch design or graphic design.
Did you go to like PubCon and all that stuff too when you were in the SEO?
I did not. I had friends that did. I was never that invested, I guess. I was more of less the front runner SEO stuff. I was more of the extracurricular pages and newsletters and things like that. But I do know I did have some friends. I still have friends, I guess, that go to that whole kind of event.
So you said you just got off of another coffee and Kittl before this?
The coffee with Kittles, we're launching one every Friday. Okay. Unless there's, unless I or someone else is on vacation, or, maybe there's holidays that come up, like over Christmas, maybe we have less just because it's harder to kind of schedule with people. But yeah, right now I think we're booked out through, gosh, I guess the next month at least. Yeah, I think we're booked out through the last month, at least in terms of episodes that are already ready to go. So yeah, every Friday we're posting one on Kittl's YouTube. Right now on Spotify, we're backlogging all of the ones and uploading the ones that have already happened. So right now on Spotify, it's one a day.
Oh wow! How many do you guys have so far?
Episodes wise for Coffee with Kittl, I think we have 62 or 63 now. Yeah, 62, 63 now. On Spotify, I think we have 47 of those up. Again, it's every day, so we're currently backlogging Spotify to be there. All the videos there too, video, audio is all on Spotify too, which is really neat. Yeah, right now I think we have recorded up through August, maybe early September so far, which is great because I always love getting introduced to more people, either if they're using Kittl or they're entrepreneurs or they're business owners. It's such a great way to basically meet and talk to geniuses all day, but our users get to benefit from that with their knowledge, right? And so that's kind of why we wanted to invest in Coffee with Kittl, to just have people not only promote these amazing people and have users go and hang out with them in their communities, but also just educate, right, on any and all.
Are you getting more traction off of YouTube or Spotify?
Well, way more on YouTube. That's where we started it. And so the Spotify is going to be Spotify. We just started July 1. It was just something we didn't really have bandwidth for yet. And so now that we do have we can pay a little bit more attention to having this available via just audio feeds. Because everything right now is primarily video. It's a video podcast. But now with Spotify, you can upload the video as well. And so we just do both. We have the video or audio there on Spotify for you to listen to. But yeah, it'll be much more slow growing right now until we get up to the same consistency that we have on YouTube. But we started it on YouTube first. Yeah, and it's been really awesome to just get the feedback, and the amount of watch time is pretty crazy, because they're pretty lengthy episodes. And just the comments like, wow, I didn't know anything about this creator, or I had no idea that there was this other YouTube channel. That's amazing. I'm going to go check them out. And vice versa. I mean, we have people find Kittl because we had someone on and they said, what the heck? I never heard of Kittl, but I know who Juna is, or I know who Rich is, or I know who John is. And so it's very reciprocal, which is really neat.
Yeah, it's a good cross promotion as well for a lot of folks. And yeah, everybody is talking about their tools and everything that they use. So definitely find some value there. Again, I'm sure there's a lot of people that commute. So having the ability to
exactly
to Spotify instead of watching not a lot of people have that time to sit in front of a.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that was the idea. And it was something we knew we needed to do. We just needed to grow the team a little bit and make sure we have all the bases covered before we can really invest and make sure we're doing Spotify the right way and having all of the links there and things like that.
So what's the next thing that Kittl is going to be doing? Anything exciting?
Yes. I would say that the feature-wise, there's so much happening. I mean, we just released our eraser tool, which is a more advanced tool. We've upgraded our AI again. We've trained it on a different model that we think is much better. And most notably, we just released Brand Kit, which is for the expert plan. If you have an expert subscription, you can use the Brand Kit, which basically means you can save your colors, you can save your fonts that you use, you can save your photo files, you can save just all of the little effects and or colors and elements that you use a lot. You can pre-save them in a kit so that you can recall them at any time. So you don't have to go and grab a color from every time, or you don't have to open up a project and copy it and paste it. It's all right there, right in the Brand Kit. And then the second, well, I guess three things is the things that are coming is our Copilot, which is kind of your virtual assistant, your virtual design assistant. So through AI, it can make suggestions for you on your design. So if you want to start with a template, it can help you edit that template. It can make suggestions for the type of t-shirt design you're making. It can auto-generate if you want a different element. Let's say it's a surf shirt and you want a different element because you don't want to use a templated element. You can give it a style. It will upload it, generate it, and replace it with what was in the t-shirt. And then if you don't like the colors, it'll ask you, would you like me to vectorize it? It'll vectorize. So you don't have to basically go outside to all the different tools on the left or the right side of Kittl. You can just you can prompt back and forth with this virtual assistant that's there for you, helping you. And it will always show you kind of relevant templates as in like, is this what you're looking for? Is this kind of an idea? And you can say yes or no. You can ask it to generate paragraph text, body text, which is a very new thing for us. I just found that out today, actually. So that's exciting. And then, we're going to be really pushing Kittl Plus, which is it's going to be a new service, basically, where you can kind of like with the Copilot, you have this virtual design assistant. The Kittl Plus is going to be like your own pocket agency. So you're going to be able to use it very similar to how you might use something like a Fiverr, and you're going to submit your requests. They're going to come to us as Kittl, and you're going to get your deliverables, whether you need designs, logos, labels, whatever, without having to pay a big time agency, which a lot of small businesses can't. And so, a lot of things on the horizon for us right now.
When is that virtual assistant out?
Yeah, so it's right now in beta. I don't know when or where this talk might be shown, but it's currently released in beta for I think most of our expert users, and I think it'll be official sometime around the middle of August, early to middle of August. Yeah, so it works, but we're putting some things in place to make sure that it works most effectively. And so, we're kind of building some hype around it. Hey, this is what's coming. And then, when it's like fully fledged, people will get to experience it the way it's supposed to be.
Is it going to be available for all subscriptions, or it's a pro?
I'll have to verify my facts on the ability it'll have on the free account. I'm not sure that at least in some regard, I'm not sure that the full virtual assistant will be available in the free plan, or if there's an amended version. I would have to go just verify those facts. But for pro and expert, it would be there, kind of like how Kittl AI is there, but in a less limited capacity. Like free users can use the Kittl AI, but they have a limited amount of credits. Whereas pro and expert, they've got the daily recurring format.
And I know you touched briefly about that eraser tool. Is it just anything crazy about it, new about it, or it's just the ability to erase?
Yeah, yeah, just the ability to erase. But for Kittl, that was really big because it was basically our most requested feature was, somebody would be working on something, or they might generate an image, or they might upload an asset or an image, and they're not able to erase. And so, yeah,
Got it.
it
No, I know.
erasing.
I thought of that because when I was messing around with Kittl too, sometimes you're using like the AI background removal. It's great and it's a one-click thing, but sometimes it just does too much.
Yeah, or it does too much. Yeah.
So I guess the ability of being able to populate that artwork back and forth and erase what you need to do, that would be helpful.
Yeah. Basically like a magic replace tool or a magic eraser tool. Yeah, that's definitely on our radar. I can't say for sure where that is in the lineup of like releases, but yeah, I mean that was like the next that was the next thing people were saying. It was, oh, it's too much. I need it back. How do I get it back? So yeah, something like that we're definitely working on.
Do you know if Kittl has any like half toning tools or gradient tools that
Just the ability to make gradients or halftones.
like half toning, like being able to half tone an image? I know there's a lot of AI tools now that you're able to do that. Is that something that's also in Kittl? I'm not familiar with that.
We have the blending modes mixed with some of our alpha masks that can create the halftoning for you. We also have the halftone elements that can be clipped. And I mean, in terms of making a gradient, you can make anything a gradient, basically, from text to elements to, blocks of objects. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I don't say it's an advanced halftoning tool like, an advanced merch designer would be using. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that we might consider for the future.
Your designers, they don't always create off of Kittl, right? They'll import artwork in from somewhere.
Not usually. Not usually. Yeah, the way that our licensing would work is that if you did that, you would have to have the ability to let a sub-license happen after you publish a template, right? So we do have some creators that are making their own asset, so they might be drawing it in something like Procreate, uploading it to Kittl, vectorizing it, and then if they publish it in a template, that means that everybody has the ability to use it, right? So we always would say definitely refrain from uploading it to publish it as a template just for rights sake. But if you're talking about you or an individual, they certainly might have a subscription to something like Envato or Creative Fabrica. And yeah, they have their own license to use those assets. Absolutely. They're uploading those to Kittl, formulating their own designs, exporting them, sending them to the print shop or sending them to their print on demand or something like that. But as far as the templates go on Kittl, yeah, most of all those are going to be made with things that are in Kittl that are under the license that you have to use those.
I see. It's just like sometimes when we print with Kittl on some artwork, I've seen some of the resolution vary from artwork to artwork. Some of them are super crisp. Some of them, I'm not sure if it's like a clip art that they're using, but it's just the edging is not super sharp. You might have to run the vectorizer tool to clean some more. But I've just seen some inconsistencies sometimes. So I was just wondering because that's a main thing that I see with Canva. It's like all over the place. And I've seen really bad prints that we get sometimes when somebody uses a pre-made template from Canva.
Right. You shouldn't have that issue with Kittl most of the time if you're using one of the professional creator templates. Like, we are very strict with our guidelines and we have a really high threshold of excellence, and they're all approved by a human before they're submitted. There may be the point where someone is using a Kittl template and then they've edited it they've uploaded something else, or maybe they've edited it to include something else that was not as crisp or sharp or vector for that matter. I would say that, I would say that's probably definitely an issue if someone is not sure of the resolution of their image that they're uploading. If it is an image that they're going to be using as the main graphic, you know, in Kittl, we have our upscaler tool. So when you click that, it will round out those edges. It will make it less pixelated. It will basically increase the pixel size. It'll create pixels back where there are none, essentially, and smooth out all of the colors so that it's crisp. Or like you said, you can run the vectorizer tool on up to 16 colors right now, and that'll obviously give you your crispness back. But some of that I think may just be education, you know, understanding file type, 300 DPI, the size of the artboard when they're exporting it. Sometimes it's just educating users on like, look, this is the resolution that we need. This is our preferred size. At least if you're going to export it, it would be this resolution. And so yes, sometimes, though, it doesn't matter if you've uploaded an image that's not super high quality and you export it at 300 DPI, it doesn't matter because the image was not very nice, right? So it can happen, but there are tools that you can use to ensure that it doesn't happen.
All right, guys, thanks for watching this channel. We got a chance to sit down with Drew and have a conversation where we cover a lot of things with designing, with DTF. And if you guys haven't watched any of Drew's other episodes, he covers a lot of important things in this industry, as well as a lot of conversations with entrepreneurs, business owners, printers, and designers, and all that good stuff. So thanks again for joining in on this talk with us, Drew.
Sure thing. Thanks so much for having me.